that was tough. That was a rough one, but unfortunately, it is what it is. At the end of the day, what can you do? Realistically, what can you do when your offense just completely gets shut down by a top-rated defense in the league? Putting up 22 points on offense against the best team in the best defense in the league in 2 games is not going to get it done. Pure and simply put, it's not going to get it done. There is no excuse for getting outplayed by a rookie quarterback in Dorian Thompson-Robinson. There's no excuse. Pure and simply put, missing Minkah Fitzpatrick was really hurting this team, and it was evident today. The defense played their best that we could. They got a turnover, but the offense just couldn't do anything with it at the end of the day. They couldn't do with it. GG's, man. Shout out to all the Browns fans out there. Guys deserve this one. Pure and simply put, your offense did what they needed to do when it came down to it. Your offense did what it needed to. And unfortunately, the Steelers couldn't get it done on offense. I'm definitely going to put a lot of this loss on Kenny Pickett because he did not have a good game. Only having 106 yards passing is not going to get it done. That was pretty bad offensively for showing-wise. He's just not doing well against good defenses. Kenny Pickett has not performed up to expectations against good defenses, and it's very concerning. It's really concerning because he needs to get better. Kenny Pickett seriously needs to get better. Like, we're playing some below-average defenses coming up the next few weeks. We need to turn this thing around. We got the Bengals next week on the road, where they're now without Joe Burrow. They have some key pieces, but their defense is nowhere near as good as it was last year. Steelers need to put some points on the board. We need to work on putting some points on the board. Matt Canada, they need Thompson-Robinson to be a game manager, and then they could literally just get to the playoffs with just their defense on one game. Jalen Warren and Najee Harris combined again for over 150 yards on the ground, and we need to put in more running game. We need to really balance out. The Bengals last week got completely shut down, completely dominated by the Ravens last week, and that was without Joe Burrow. The Steelers need to do that same thing against the Bengals, especially because it's going to be a rivalry week. It's our first matchup with the Bengals this year. And Dashy, don't worry. I'll be live on Pick 'em 4 Horsemen for you, man. It'll be a good game. Officiating was pretty bad once again. Even Sean Hockley's crew was pretty bad. I will say there are some calls that I completely don't understand. Why would there be a delay of game on the defense? That makes absolutely no sense. You're trying to bait the guy. They didn't do anything. They moved on their own. Why are you calling a delay game on the defense? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. That's a completely awful call. And then there were also some major holding that they completely missed. There was at least 7 times where there was holding, and yet they let it go. Completely ridiculous from an officiating standpoint. And Sean Hockley is supposed to be one of the better crews out there. Terrible. And then, let's not forget, the touchdown, the first touchdown of the game, the only touchdown the Browns had offensively on the game. They didn't do anything. They literally, on the side angle, he didn't cross through. His right arm barely went over, and that's somehow a touchdown now? Like, give me a break, dude. That's a horrible call. This should have been short, and it's what they had. They should have been rolled as a short play because he really was short. I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand how you could overrule that. By rule, if a replay takes that long, it should not be. It should be staying as fault. It cannot be the rule. It should be. There is not enough evidence to overturn the call, and therefore it should be 4th down. That's what it should have been. But yet, no, they gave him the touchdown anyway. Absolutely terrible officiating for that standpoint. There's no excuse for that. Even with the replay, there's no excuse. A slight arm over it, there was no point in the ball where it crossed either. So how is that supposed to be called? Like, that just makes no sense to me. From an officiating standpoint, there's no reason that should have been called a touchdown. The top of the arm barely went over. That's not considered. That has to be the full ball over the line. Not part of it. The full ball line. Full ball has to be over the line. Not just part of it. That's not high school. That's a high school rule where you have to have the part of the ball over. It has to be the full ball over on the NFL level. Come on, NFL. Get your shit together on that, man. That's ridiculous. Terrible officiating from that standpoint. The O-line absolutely blew it today. Dan Moore needs to be benched. Dan Moore, absolute. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. Dan Moore looked horrendous today. He looked horrible all game. He was laying up some bad plays throughout the entire game. He just let Myles Garrett say, "Oh, come on in, sack Kenny Pickett. Why should I care?" That's how Dan Moore was today. Why can't we start Broderick Jones? Why can't we start Broderick Jones over him? Or move Chucks to the other side? That makes no sense to me at all. Oh my god, this was just tough, man. This is a tough loss because simply put, we should have won this game. Pure and simply put, the Steelers had multiple chances to win this game, and yet our offense fell flat. Because number one, we couldn't protect Kenny Pickett, and number two, Kenny Pickett could not make the right throws. Did Deontay Johnson dropping 3 times help? No, but he should have had those catches. He had a horrible day offensively on fantasy purposes. George Pickens did his best. He did his best with his work with, but when Kenny Pickett doesn't get it together, I really don't want to see him starting. He's an upgrade over Mitch Trubisky, but he's not much of an upgrade over Mitch Trubisky. Like, come on, man. Absolutely terrible on this standpoint. And Kenny Pickett, man, you're starting to run patience, man. You're starting to run my patience. I want to see you come alive in the fourth quarter. This is only your first loss this year. Like, the only time this year the Steelers lost whether it's a one-score game. Only time this year. Got to get back to clutch Kenny Pickett in the next game. Got to get better at that. Simply put, today was not. It was completely inexcusable today. Completely inexcusable. Overall, though, there really isn't much else to say, man. There really isn't much else to say about this game. It's an absolutely joke that Matt Canada continues to call a terrible play, call these continued plays every single time. Canada, even on the sideline, I thought it was working. We were putting up over 20 points a game, and yet we only put up 10 against Cleveland. Got to get back to our ways next week against Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a beatable opponent. We've beaten Cincinnati on the road last year. We could do it again. Get your act together, Steelers, offensively. They need to start running the ball effectively. Need to start getting better pass plays. You need to protect better on the quarterback, too. And then also on the defensive line, you need to get to the quarterback more. Only getting 2 sacks in 2 games, the past 2 games, is inexcusable. You need to get to the quarterback. You're playing against Jake Brown or A.J. McCarron next week. You need to get to the quarterback. There is no excuse. If we can't put up sacks next week against the Bengals, we're in trouble. Come on, man. We got the Bengals, the Cardinals, and the Patriots next 3 weeks. And then after that's the Indianapolis Colts. This should be a winnable schedule. We should be winning the next 4 games. There's no reason why we shouldn't. There's absolutely no reason why we shouldn't be after those games 10-4. There's no reason for it. I will give you guys this, though. Even though the Steelers have lost to rookie quarterbacks twice this year, the last time we did so, we won the division title and went to the playoffs. And went to the AFC Championship in 2016. So there is a bright spot to it. There is absolutely a bright spot to it. Because the Steelers, last time we lost to 2 rookie quarterbacks, they only went to the AFC Championship game. Steelers need to turn things around, though, if we need to get back there. Absolutely need to turn it around. I will put up some videos about my trip to Pittsburgh last week. I didn't want to do a victory lap there because I was just overwhelmed with emotion and everything, and I was talking to other people I was seeing at the game. But I'll have a video out for the Steelers thing sometime in the future. I don't know when, probably this week. But with that being said, you guys can see me on 4 Horsemen and Pick'ems. On Wednesday night, it'll be me, Alex, Tiny Tim, and Steel Sermon, a.k.a. Mac. We'll all be live. And I don't think it's necessarily over, but losing the Bengals next week's not going to be pretty, man. Going to 6-5 would not be pretty. Bengals are a beatable opponent. Steelers, get it together. Canada, get it together. And Kenny Pickett, most certainly you have to get better. You have to get better, buddy. Come on. I know you can put up a good performance. Got to do it next week in Cincinnati. Just like Belichick said at one time, we're on to Cincinnati. Pure and simply put, that's all I got to say. See you guys later. Stay awesome. I'm going to go out to the beach and relax now. try and take my mind off this game. But